Hey guys, this is Felipe, and we're here at Felipe's Taqueria on National Tequila Day. And you know, what else do you do on National Tequila Day but have a virtual tasting of tequila? So I'm here with Matt Johnson from Cantera Negra, and Matt, if you can introduce yourself a little bit to us.
Yeah, thank you, Felipe, and I want to thank Felipe's first of all for hosting us tonight, National Tequila Day. Happy National Tequila Day to everybody out there, and what better way to enjoy this day than sipping some of the finest tequila in the world, which we got here in front of you. And for those who don't know of Cantera yet, it's exploding on the scene, definitely down here in Southwest Florida and in the Florida area. It's a fairly new tequila out of Jalisco, Mexico, small batch, family owned. I would say just over about 2 years in the United States and only about 8 to 10 months here in Naples, Florida. So we're very excited to one, be tasting this wonderful product on National Tequila Day, and two, share it with everybody out there in virtual land. So thank you.
And you know, for the people that follow me, they probably know because I'm always posting about it. I'm always at home enjoying this, and it's something, it's a product that I became familiar with a couple months ago, right, when we first met. And I was not a big tequila guy, right? It was not my thing, right? I didn't do tequila until I tried this, because every time I had tequila before, it burned down. I was having the wrong tequila, essentially, right? After I had this, I actually don't have any other drinks than tequila, right? And obviously mixed with margaritas and palomas and all that stuff. But that's what I've been having. Love the cafe one too.
Yeah, makes for a crowd pleaser.
Makes for great desserts, right? We're excellent at home. So as we try, I wanted you to kind of give us a little bit more information on each one of them. Perhaps we start with the silver, which is
absolutely,
and work our way up.
We'll start with the silver and all the way down, and just kind of piggy off what Felipe was saying. That's usually the case. What I hear when I go in for tasting is I'm not a tequila fan, and a lot of that I think falls on back of a lot of cheap tequila out there being made, especially in the past. They're catching up to the times these days, but a lot of bad experience on bad tequila, and just a lot of bad experiences and drinking whole bottles of tequila in the dorm room, I think. So that's one of two reactions I get when I come in for a tasting. Either I hate tequila, or what I love to hear is I love tequila, because one, I like to hear the feedback of a true tequila connoisseur out there, and I take that feedback very seriously, because we have one of the finest tequilas I've ever tasted in the world. And again, like Felipe, I was not a tequila fan until I tried Cantera Negra, and it's just like one of those. It's unlike any other tequila.
By far the smoothest one I ever tried. Right? Any of them you can try, and it's very smooth. Like I was saying, that sensation of the burning when it goes down. Haven't had with any of them, and it's easier. And it makes it easy to drink and enjoy, and we'll talk about it. But you can try with different things. And you kind of have different ways of trying it, and the more you try it, the more you learn the different things you can do with it, and
exactly.
It gets better. So.
And you already said a few of the keywords. There's 3 or 4 keywords you'll always hear in our tasting, and especially the silver that we're going to start with. So if you don't mind, Felipe, you might pour a couple of silvers there. I will be tasting today, so this is a rare occurrence that I will be tasting the whole flight. It's been a few months that I have gotten a chance to taste the whole flight, because when you're doing these tastings, you're not.
I don't know. Is that enough? Is that
enough to taste the flavor profile. And
so this is the silver one.
Yeah, so silver. So just a little bit of background before we get to taste the silver. Cantera Negra, like we said, it's pretty much brand new United States. But the name itself, a lot of thought goes into it. Cantera Negra translates to black quarry rock. And this is named after the rich volcanic soil that these 100% estate-grown blue agave are grown in. So much like a wine, I have a lot of background in wine knowledge and wine sales. So much like a wine, terroir, the ground that agave grapes, agave in this case, that it's grown in, is going to make a huge difference on the flavor profile. And then another thing that makes us really special, starting with the silver, is it's our estate blue agave are in the ground. They're grown for almost 2 years longer than any other ultra premium out there. And what that does to the agave pina, the ones that they crush for tequila, what that does to the pina, it allows it to fully mature and just release its natural flavors without it having that alcohol burning on the nose. Most importantly, not having that alcohol burning on the throat. So those extra 2 years is crucial for that fully maturation of the agave, and that's where it kind of all starts. And I'll go into a couple other special things once we get into the reposados and the aged tequila. So,
well, one of the things before we even taste it, one of the things I always get, compliments on, it's on the bottle itself, right? Like the people like the bottle. It's a very clean, modern looking product, which, if you leave it on top of your counters, which I do, by the way, all mine are on top of my counters. It's not a burden, right? It's something very nice,
it's not
very
going to
clean.
tip over like these 2 foot long bottles out there.
So to begin with,
sexy bottle, crystal clear.
There's thought on the bottle already, right?
Lots
before the content on it. So let's get to the content.
And the caps, the caps aren't here now, but the caps do resemble Tohonas, which are made out of that black granite. Huge stones that are crushing the agave in that process. But just like Felipe is saying, so much thought goes into the not only the harvesting, the distillation, the bottling, but so much thought goes into every step.
There's also a wooden part that the bottle goes in, right?
Yeah, the crate.
The crate,
the crate. All these bottles come in wooden crates that actually make for a great display case. So, hey, let's just go ahead and taste the silver and get started here. So, cheers! Happy Tequila Day!
Happy Tequila Day!
And on the nose, no burning whatsoever. You're gonna get citrus, that almost like orange citrus in there. You're going to get some earthiness, which is typical of a valley tequila. We are in the foothills of Jalisco, so you're going to get the best of both worlds. We're not that altitude, but we're not in a low valley. Nice foothills of Jalisco. So you're going to get a nice balanced tequila. Man, that's everything I remember.
And I'll tell you, this is one of my favorite ones to do margaritas. So I go back and forth between these two.
Yeah.
Sometimes I go with the reposado, which we'll try next. But I do like the silver too. Like you said, the citrus part of it blends well with the mix.
Yeah.
And it just gives like that authentic margarita taste to it. This one gives a little bit of a dip. It's even hard to explain. It's more of like
very complex.
Very
complex.
But I like to alternate between them.
Yeah.
It's not like you like. Sometimes I want a margarita this way. Sometimes I want it that way. And you'll feel it the more you start, drinking it.
And that's what makes it so special, because starting with the silver all the way down through the extra neon cafe, they're all designed and made to be sipping tequila.
Yeah.
A true sipping tequila. I mean, look at it. It's warm. We aren't doing any ice. We aren't doing any water droppers in there to express it. This is the keywords I'm thinking of. I think you said a few of them: clean, crisp, smooth, and you get no burning whatsoever. You get a little bit of a heat. Obviously, it's an 80 proof spirit. You're going to have heat. But once that heat starts to build, it just dissipates the flavor. Nice little cucumber and earthiness on that finish. It just goes away. And it just leaves you like begging for another sip.
Yep.
So that's our silver. And going back to silver, if you don't have a pure, refined, crystal clear, just amazing silver, the only difference when you start to get the reposados and naos, extra naos, is the aging process. And that's going to be the only difference. So if you don't have an amazing silver, it's just going to start to expose its blemishes and flaws once you start to age in it. And that's where a lot of these, mass-produced tequila companies, that's when a lot of them are adding flavoring, whether it be natural or unnatural flavoring, and more importantly, adding color. And 100% guaranteed, nothing in these 4 tequila lineups, there is 0 added. There is no flavoring, natural or unnatural flavoring. most importantly, no coloring the makeup for the aging process. Going back to the aging process, I'll let you go ahead and pour there, Felipe, while I'm going through it. So, again, silver, twice distilled, rested and bottled. Moving on to the Reposado here. Legally, to be a Reposado, I want to say only 2 months in oak. Ours is, let me get some fresh glasses. So our Reposado on the aging process is 11 to 12 months, which is 5 times longer than any of these ultra premiums out there on the market. And a huge, I guess, quality control that I do want to mention about the aging process that is really unique and goes into this 40-year-old family recipe is our oak barrels are handmade on premise, which I have yet to come across a tequila company that does that on premise. We use French and Hungarian oak, which is going to be a tighter grain oak, which is going to make it much more softer on the palate than say a brand new American oak. Our oak barrels are charred on premise, so they are charred, and you will get those flavors in the Reposado when we try it here. So again, a couple key things: age 5 times longer, and our oak barrels are handmade on premise. That's where that strict family quality control comes in.
One of the things I wanted to add, because I actually didn't know this until you guys enlightened me about this, and I think a lot of people have this perception, is that as it gets darker, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a stronger tequila.
No.
It's just been on a barrel for longer, and that's what gives the color.
Yeah, and it's just going to absorb those notes of the oak, and again, that's why we're using the French and Hungarian oak, because it's going to take on those softer flavors on the palate. And I guess, and opinions are different. The more you age it, the softer and sweeter it can get.
Yeah.
Again, the oak that people are using, the barrels, a lot of people are using used barrels already, so it's not going to pick up as many complex flavors as a brand new charred oak.
So start with this, not in a barrel. This one, it's on a barrel for
11 to 12 months.
11 to 12 months.
Yeah, so 12 months is, if you're at 12 months in one day, you can slap an añejo on that bottle and be legal. So we're teetering that line of a Reposado and añejo. So we're going to pick up those flavors that are typical of Reposado, but then we're also going to get some flavors that are introduced from an añejo. So with that being said, happy Tequila Day again. Reposado here.
This is definitely one of my favorite.
Man, it just,
because of it gives you a little bit of cinnamon. I don't know. It's like there's
like that new wood, those, almost like those earthy cooking spices, like cinnamon or clove or a nutmeg almost.
That's exactly what I was trying to explain. Yeah, like the spices that comes with it, right? So like you mentioned, this one is like more of the citrus. You taste the citrus on it, and then this one, it goes into the spice, the more of the spice of it, and it kind of takes away like the alcohol.
You know
that you would taste, right?
It just gives it those dimensions that usually, you're usually tasting those alcohol notes first, and then if there is any good flavoring in that spirit, those are secondary or very faint. Where here you're not tasting the alcohol, you're just tasting the whole complexity of all those flavors.
And you can almost taste it like in the different taste buds, like the different things on the different taste buds.
Because you're never going to lose the backbone of the silver. You're always going to have that little hints of citrus. The vanilla is fresh in the silver, where now you're almost getting to where it's like a cooked vanilla.
Yeah.
You're going to get the fresh wood where the spices come in, and then you're also going to get the finish of the almost like a smoky finish, but not like a mezcal finish. Just a touch of smoke to balance all that sweetness and dimensions out from that fresh charred oak.
And again, no burning, right? No burning, very smooth. You can.
It's just all flavor. It's hard.
And
to
you can
explain.
take a shot. I'm talking from experience here, but shot after shot, and it still doesn't burn.
Yeah.
And it's.
And the last thing say about the Reposado, and I think we both agree on this, and we'll move on to the Añejo, is being that it's fresh wood, fresh charred wood, handmade oak barrels. This is such a complex Reposado where if you do mix it with just a few different mixes with fresh squeezed juice, I use a ginger beer and fresh squeezed lime, make a Mexican mule. It's amazing with the Reposado just because you get those different dimensions. But it's so complex that it's almost going to go good with anything you mix it with. And you don't need much, is what I'm trying to say.
Absolutely.
So that was the Reposado.
It does make for good margaritas if you have a mixer too. Both of them, like I said before, they both are, and they're going to give you a little bit different flavor to the margarita.
Yeah.
Right? This one is a little bit more robust, I'll say, of the flavor, and this one more of your typical margarita.
And then margaritas, what are people, they're putting Pancho or Grand Marnier in there. I tell you what, ever since I started making margaritas for Reposado, don't need it.
No. My thing was a triple sec. I used to put triple sec on it, but you don't need it because the flavor's right there. Right?
Yeah, you're going against the grain at that point. You're taking the flavor away. So Reposado, now we're going to move on to the Añejo. So I'm going to finish this Reposado real quick. That's begging for just a touch of wine or something. Okay, so Añejo, Cantera Negra Añejo. Añejo, like I was just saying, a year and 1 day you can slap an Añejo label on there and it'd be legal. You'll see a little metal, it may be hard to see from the camera angle, but this is a good time to say that all of these 4 tequilas are all medal winners at the World Spirits Competition, which is a very highly regarded spirits competition held yearly in San Francisco. And it says a lot that our whole lineup here was accepted for that competition. And for all 4 to medal is basically like hitting a grand slam in the World Series. So what we're about to taste next is our Añejo, which is our gold medal winner. And keep in mind, at 30 to 60% the price, we're going against Añejos in the competition that are $150 to $300 range. And I'm a wholesaler, I can't speak much for retail, but this is going to be 50 to 60% less than any of those ultra premium.
So you're getting the premium tequila for
you're getting a seriously well made. I mean, they're all well made, but
well, I think you know, like you said, it all starts with this one, right?
Yeah.
And so if you have a good one, it only makes sense that you would get medals for the other ones because they're just improving upon the first one, right? So it makes sense. Let me pour that for you.
Yeah. So this one, the Añejo, I wouldn't recommend making cocktails with it. However, if you did, I'm sure it would be absolutely amazing.
I haven't tried yet, but
this is going to be where you're getting into the territory of a true sipping tequila. Not to take anything away from the Silver Reposado, but this is going to be the one that it's going to be served neat best, or at most just a nice big ice rock. It's just going to be amazing.
The way I do, the way that I see these and the way I use them, obviously I have them at home, is these are more like my everyday ones, right? So I make cocktails with them, I'll do it. And then these are my nightcaps, that's what I call them, right? And it depends how happy I am or what I've accomplished that day. If it's something really big, I'll go with this one.
Yeah.
If we're just celebrating another happy day in Southwest Florida, then I go with the Añejo, right?
That's a good way to put it.
So that's how I use it. Obviously, you can use it however you want. I'm just saying how I see them, right?
Yeah.
How I've been using them.
I mean, and we'll kind of cap this at the end, but which is your favorite one? And it's just like
it's hard. It's hard. Well,
they're all made. They're all kind of like designed to do different things.
And I think that's one of the things. Once you learn about them and once you've tasted all of them, you kind of figure out what you can do with them, and then you save them for. Yeah. And that's how I do it, right? I save it for different occasions, or I save it for different things. So obviously, I drink more of these too because I'm making more cocktails and drinking more of them. But I still, drink these obviously.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. All right, so 30 to 36 months in that handcrafted Hungarian and French oak. Now coming from the Reposado, The reposado, we were tasting new wood, that nice little smoke with the fresh char on that wood. Now it's going to really start to mellow out. You're going to get a little more sweeter vanilla and almost caramel flavors. What I get, and tell me if you pick it up when we get to taste it, is a nice creme brulee, because you're still getting that torched charred oak, but again, it's just getting more mellowed out because you're spending an extra 2 more years in that oak, and it's just resting, it's loosening up, and it's just absorbing all those wonderful flavors of that oak. So
Happy Tequila Day.
Happy Tequila Day.
Yeah, there's much
It's
sweeter.
great when I hit your mouth. It's just like so soft on. Usually you get that up front.
Yeah. No, it takes
It
takes a second, and then you hear it hits like your taste buds. You can almost like feel all your taste buds like
Yeah.
kind of kick, get the kick of it. And but yeah, that one is definitely a little bit sweeter than this one, right? So this was 12 months,
11 to 12.
11 to 12.
Yeah. 30 to 36 months,
30,
so 2.5 to 3 years, which is going to be comparable to all of your high-end añejos. You got a lot of these companies that have 3-4 tiers of different levels of tequila they're producing. This is it. We make one line. We aren't here to sell you on our baseline and then, upsell you on our higher end. It is what it is. Small batch, fine sipping tequila at its best.
I wanted to ask you a question because obviously you sell to. We have a lot of restaurants in Southwest Florida that have this, right? How is it more permanent that people are buying them to make cocktails with it, or having sipping tequilas, or is it a mix of both? Really?
It's a mix of both. So I'm in about 26 to 32 restaurants down here in Southwest Florida. Most of them being down here in Naples, downtown, higher end, all the way to the neighborhood taqueria like Felipe's here. And once people taste it, they respect what it is, especially at the price point it's at. So when I go downtown, that has a very extensive specialty cocktail menu that are pouring high-end top shelf spirits for their specialty cocktails. Don't want to name any names out there, but we are coming in and replacing their top shelf specialty cocktails or specialty spirits in their specialty cocktail menus. We're replacing with our silvers and reposados on those handcrafted cocktails for 20 to 30% cheaper what they're replacing it with. And for a much better flavor profile.
And honestly, this is just a matter of trying. Once you try, I feel like you kind of fall in love with the product.
And that's the hardest. Once people try it, I mean, it's not even it's game over because it's so special and so unique.
Yeah.
It's unlike any other tequila from the whole flight from start to finish.
All right, let's get to the extra añejo.
All right, extra añejo. So extra añejo, which is kind of the big trend right now. And before I go too far into the process and aging process of it, I do want to point out that our extra añejo is our flagship and how it was brought into the United States. So, quick little story about how this was brought in. A couple gentlemen from Ohio, huge fishermen, they go down to Cabo St. Lucas every year for the big tuna tournament. I want to say about 8 or 9 years ago, they went down and they caught the big tuna, won the tournament, $250,000 cash, which ain't too bad for a day of fishing.
Pretty good.
They rolled into the local cantina off the beaten path to celebrate their big catch. They told the bartender, give me your best, finest tequila. Bartender went in the back, poured it out of a barrel, growler, whatever, unmarked growler, whatever you may be. Happened to be our extra añejo. The gentleman tasted it, said, "Oh my God, this is the best tequila I've ever had." Who makes it? Bartender says, "Can't tell you." How do I get it? You can't. 6-7 years going out for the same tournament every year. They would visit that cantina. Same thing. Where do I get it? Who makes it? Can't tell you, can't get it. 6 years go by, and finally they get back home to Ohio after the tournament, and they get home to an email with the bar owner revealing the name of the master distiller in the family who owns this, which is the Don Alberto Venturano family. Needless to say, they flew out the very next week, worked out all the logistics of importing and all of, blocks and
all the legal.
Just basically, how do I get this from Lisco to United States? So 2 years of beefing up production, 120, 130 employees later, which are a lot of them are family, if not family friends, which is unique, cool, community, family based, which we are. But again, going back to the Extra Neo, it's where it all started. This was a private members only tequila. When I say members only, members in that neighborhood, in that
You have to know.
You have to know somebody to know somebody to get it. But thankfully, that name was revealed. We built a great relationship with that family. The family is still 100% hands-on throughout the whole process of growing, hand harvesting, distilling, packaging, labeling, and most importantly, tasting the product before it gets bottled. So nothing gets bottled without going past that family.
That seems like a fun job too, tasting tequila before it gets bottled.
Yeah. We might have to stop, look for that position available. So with that being said, and I'll give you a little secret after we taste the Extra Neo. So happy National Tequila Day. That's a lot more mellow. I pick up different things every time I taste this stuff.
Like it doesn't even. It's obviously tequila, but it almost doesn't taste like. It's hard to explain, but very, very smooth. Very, very smooth.
Yeah. So a little secret, you pick up little different flavors
Yep,
from this from the Añejo. So a little secret on this one is Don Alberto Venturano family has 100% blue agave spirit, or silver, resting in French cognac and Kentucky bourbon oak barrels, resting on the side for 6, 7, 8 years in some cases. And to keep it consistent, since it's a small batch, nothing gets bottled without going past the family tasting panel. When they taste it before they bottle it, they will decide of literally pinches of that extra aged agave spirit in those French cognac and Kentucky bourbon barrels. And when I say pinches, very, very slight amount. And it's just to keep it consistent because it is a small batch production. It's going to change just slightly from batch to batch, and to keep it consistent, that's what the family is doing, which is
awesome.
Cool, neat. I mean, it's just like the icing on the cake for this tequila.
For sure.
Um,
And then we talked about 12 months, 36 months in this one.
Minimum of 4 years. When I say minimum, at least 48 months, and again, they're taking that 6, 7, 8 year aged agave spirit that they're just adding pinches to, just to make it one past the family tasting panel and consistency. So, can't tell you which my favorite is. You'd have to taste them all for yourself to enjoy, to appreciate. And just find out for yourself which one you're going to sip on or mix your best margarita or Mexican mule with.
It's kind of like that question, I have 2 kids and they say, which one is your favorite kid? I don't have a favorite kid. I like them differently, right? And this is the same thing with this one. I like them a little bit different, right?
Yeah.
So like I said, I think I use them differently and I like all of them because...
It's like a kid who likes sports and a kid who likes video games, right?
I know, you still like both of them, right? So I think that's what it is. Once you taste it, you'll fall in love with the product, number one. Number two, once you learn what to do with it, and how it best suits you to use it, I think you'll figure out, and that's what you're going to stick with, right? And like I said, I've shared my secret. These are my margaritas, cocktail mixes. those are my nightcaps. And depends on my happiness. But it could be different, right? Someone could do cocktails with these and love it too, right? There's no right or wrong answer, right? It's a matter of preference, obviously.
Well, and that's why I recommend keeping them all on hand.
Yeah,
because you never know what mood you're gonna be in,
exactly,
and you never know how you're gonna mix it or.
I agree.
So before we finish this tasting, we are not gonna leave out the Cantera Negra Cafe. It is basically the icing of the cake. It's the crowd pleaser. It's for anybody. I've ran into many people saying, I hate tequila. I'll never drink tequila again because I woke up. I'll leave it at that. Woke up with missing clothing and not with the right person, blah, blah, blah. But, so Cantera Negra Cafe, it is a 40 proof liqueur. 20% alcohol. I'm sure we've all heard of Patron XO. And I just say that because a lot of people are familiar with it. But very, very different. A lot of these coffee-based agave spirits, let me just put it, are very overpowering in alcohol. 60, 70, sometimes even 80 proof. This one being 40. It's so versatile. It's 3 ingredients. It's 100% espresso beans from the mountains of Jalisco, mixed with the agave spirit, our silver, and then mixed with neutral agave for natural sweetener. Again, and this is the only one that's going to have additive to it. It's a liqueur.
Yeah.
It's not a spirit. It's a liqueur.
And to me, one of the most versatile ones that you can have, because you can essentially drink it straight. You can put it in your coffee. You can put it in your ice cream, which we do a lot at my house, right? So it's very versatile. Some local restaurants are putting in milkshakes. We've tried with Tres Leches cake the other day, which was
tiramisu. Pastry chefs are cooking with it.
Yeah. So lots of.
I'm on. I want to say 5 to 6 specialty cocktail dessert menus featured as the espresso martini, just because it's so versatile. It's not overpowering in alcohol where you're confined to just shaking it and shooting it as a shot. Felipe was saying neat, on the rock, ice cream, make your white Russians out of it. I mean,
whatever you think you can do with it, you can.
Every week that I'm on Instagram, I see somebody posting either it's a dessert or like a dessert cocktail with the Cantera Cafe in there. So, happy Tequila Day. Dessert in a glass right here.
The funny thing is, a quick story about this. I was with my neighbors, and we're having a get together at the pool, and I was a little bit tired. I woke up early. I got young kids. You wake up early, blah blah blah, and everybody's drinking. And I said, they're like, oh, you want another drink? And I said, I really want coffee, right? Because I need to wake up. And they're like, oh, we're all drinking. If you start drinking coffee, you'd be like a party pooper. And I said, no, but I want coffee and blah, blah, blah. And then the week after I learned about this product, right, I said, okay, well, whenever I want, now I just go with this, pour that, and it's a perfect mix. Like you said, just put a little bit of ice on it, drink it straight.
Yeah.
And, it's like having a iced coffee with tequila on it.
So
right?
breakfast or dessert, right?
Yeah,
Is that what
exactly.
you're trying to say?
Breakfast, dessert, lunch. Wake up in the middle of the night, or whatever you want, right? You just want a little sweet in your mouth. That's it. Right?
I gotta start trying that. I usually go for the chocolate in the middle of the night.
They'll put you back to sleep.
My wife will appreciate me. Maybe I'll start grabbing the Cantera Cafe.
So,
but with that being said, I hope you enjoyed our tasting here. If you have any comments, questions, where you can get this product at, if you have any interest whatsoever, bar owners, managers, beverage managers, liquor store managers or owners. My name is Matt Johnson. Felipe, last name, I'm not even going to try to pronounce it. I'll let Pereira, okay. A lot easier than what's spelled. But anyway, get a hold of one of us, Instagram, Facebook. We'd be more than happy to tell you where we have it in the restaurants and liquor stores, whether you live in Lee County, Collier County, East Coast of Florida. We're expanding all the way up to Punta Gorda. But we're making some huge progress, and we're exploding on the scene here in Southwest Florida. Can't stress it enough how delicious this tequila is. If you haven't tried it, please reach out to one of us. Respond on the virtual tasting on the social media coming up soon. But yeah,
I invite people to tell us, what they're doing with it too, right? Because I'm curious,
Yeah.
right? So leave us if you have tried, either at a restaurant or if you tried at home, right? We have a couple liquor stores. We have like Dagnese that sells them. You can buy a bottle there. But if you have tried and there's something that we haven't mentioned that you do with it, let us know. I'll be interested and love to try as well. Right?
It's so versatile. I mean, you put this in a cocktail, silver reposado. Somebody who doesn't know tequila, they would never know that the typical tequila.
Let me put it this way: I had margaritas before this, and I thought it was good. Then I had this, and it's very good. And then I had the margaritas I had before having this, and it didn't make the cut. Right?
Yeah.
Like I'm like, all right, it's not what I'm used to. It's not what I want, and I wanted to go back to that. Right? So it's like we were saying. Once you try this, you're not gonna want to go back to anything else.
No.
So,
And tequila, I'll finish off with this. Tequila is one of those spirits that just, from one brand to the next, they taste so much different. I mean, you can line up 10 different vodkas, and I couldn't tell you which vodka is which.
yeah.
You line up 10 different tequilas, I'm going to be able to distinguish at least 4 or 5 out of the others.
Yeah.
And this separation from any other tequila I've ever had in my life, it's huge. The separation
and then to a point you made earlier too, like you can still have a premium tequila and not pay the overpriced pay. That's one of the things, right? Obviously, you're still getting a good quality product for a price that it's fair. I would say, right, for a fair price.
Very, very fair.
For what it is, for the aging, for all the producing that goes into it. Yeah. So it's getting a premium product for a fair price. Just because it's premium doesn't mean that you have to overpay for it, right? So.
No. And a lot of times I'll let people taste this, and then I'll show them the pricing, and then they're just blown away by it because they're probably thinking, oh my. And that's the thing I get by the time they hit the cafe.
Well, I came in, and when I came in a little bit earlier, I was sitting there and I was watching people. You're doing a tasting here at Felipe's, and I was watching people, and as they tried, like, oh my God, this is. The response was over and over the same, right? Like how good the product is, and honestly, I try to, when I post, I try to tell people about it, but like unless you try it,
words can only do so much.
I know.
All
I can say, like I'm a reputable guy, so if I'm telling you it's good, it's good, right? Like go try it for yourself, though. Don't rely on me. So.
Yeah. So happy Tequila Day, everybody out there. Thank you, Felipe, and you're a huge help for us promoting this beautiful tequila. And I just can't say enough about what's in this bottle. And again, if you haven't tried it, please reach out to any of us, any of our people that we sell it to, and we'd be happy to do a personal tasting for you, at least get you exposed to this product. So thank you so much, Felipe, for celebrating National Tequila Day with me, and thank you, Felipe's. I know Jairo isn't here at the moment, but thank you, Felipe's, for hosting us. We had to go in a private room here to kind of get away from the noise because they're
busy and loud. Everybody's out celebrating tonight.
They're packing it in for National Tequila Day. So happy Tequila Day for all you out there. And